the myths, the biggest myths and confusions that lie in the fitness and nutrition space. Belief number one, this is what I come up against all the time. To lose weight, you need to count calories and eat less, right? To lose weight, you need to count calories and eat less. It seems simple enough, but yet it works for almost nobody. 33% of the American population is overweight. 33%, over 1/3 of people are overweight. Most of those people are obese. It's insane. There are so many overweight people and obese people right now, and they're sitting there in their house thinking it's their fault because they've been fed bad information. So let's talk about why. Let's not talk about how do you count calories, how many calories do you need, is Justin going to tell me what to eat or not? We're not going to talk about that. What we're going to talk about is, since you think that eating less calories and starving yourself is the only way to lose weight, what do you feel? I said this to you earlier. We're going to talk here, we're going to talk here, right? What do you feel here when you eat too much? What's the first thing you feel? The first thing you think about in your head, because you know how to lose weight. You know it's as simple as calories in, calories out. Eat less calories, lose weight, right? You know it's that simple. So when you eat too many calories, what's the one thing you feel? Guilt. Number one thing you feel is guilt. How many people have ever eaten something that they know they shouldn't have eaten and they immediately feel guilty afterwards? Did you ever feel guilty because of something you ate? Tell me in the comments. Say yes, say no. If you've never eaten something that you know is bad for you, that you know has a high caloric content, and you felt guilty about it. Everybody does, but that comes with more feelings than just guilt. It comes with guilt, it comes with shame. And then you shame yourself. You feel guilty, then comes shame. You shame yourself for being too weak and giving in and eating those calories. Your poor body is just trying to survive and telling you to eat. And you get mad at yourself when you do eat because you believe in this calories nonsense. Eat less calories, lose weight. Eat less calories, lose weight. No, flip it on its head. Eat more calories, lose weight. That's the world that I live in. That's how I had my personal transformation. That's how people in the Clovis Caddy had their personal transformation. And why is this so important? We're going to talk about emotions. We're not going to talk about calories, we're going to talk about emotions. Why? Because what did we just talk about? We talked about a couple things. You eat too many calories, so you feel guilt, right? After guilt, you feel shame. You feel both of these things when you eat too many calories because the mainstream has told you that that is bad. But what's the underlying emotion of all these things? It's not guilt or shame. The underlying emotion for why you keep counting calories and you keep starving yourself is this. This is why you're obsessed with calories. This is why you've been obsessed with calories your entire life. Why everybody tells you to be obsessed with calories. Why? Because your fear is, if I eat more, I'm going to get fat. If I eat more calories, I'm going to get fat. What happens if you get fat? Well, I'm afraid that if I get fat, I won't get to go on dates. I'm afraid that if I get fat, my husband's going to leave me. My girlfriend's going to cheat on me. If I get fat, I can't play with my kids. If I get fat, my kids will laugh at me or they won't respect me. If I get fat, I can't play with my grandkids. If I get fat, I will wind up alone. Is this making sense? I hope it's making sense. I hope you weren't expecting another video about glucose and insulin resistance and ketones and keto. We're not talking about any of that shit tonight. We're talking about here and here, right? If you're obese and you're looking at me on this camera, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The fear of being alone, right? Because society has tied your self-worth to your size, to your weight. That's why you're obsessed with scales, you're obsessed with calories, you're obsessed with what goes in your body, you're obsessed with everything that the mainstream tells you to do to fix this problem that you can't seem to fix. I'm scared that I'm going to be alone. So when you're scared you're going to be alone because of this calories problem, what happens? You do feel alone. You feel alone, you're doing the roller coaster, nothing works. Everybody else seems to have a fantastic transformation story except for you, and you're looking at all the bullshit Instagram models, and you're wondering, why not me? Why not me? Why am I so alone? Why am I alone? In your brain, more calories equals fat equals alone. Fat equals alone. That's what we're talking about. I'm sorry if this is too deep for you. This is the shit that we need to talk about. okay? Because you're not alone. Do you know how I know you're not alone? Because I made over 200 custom nutrition plans in the last 60 days alone. And you think that your problems are unique. But I'm going to tell you something right now. In those 200 messages, 200 plus messages, all your problems are exactly the same. I have PCOS. I have type 1 diabetes. I have type 2 diabetes. I'm on cholesterol medication. I'm pre-diabetic. I have 5 kids. I work 80 hours a week. I work night shift. I was abused as a kid. Blah, 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 blah. One thing after another, one thing after another. I'm not saying these aren't real problems. These are your problems, and you've had unique individual experiences. I'm not taking those away from you. I'm telling you that you're not alone. Every story that you have ever told me via email, I've heard before you. And I'm going to tell you that you deserve love. I'm going to tell you that you deserve to eat as much as you want and feel good. You don't deserve to starve every day. And you don't deserve to slave away for hours in the gym. That's why we're having this conversation. This is a big deal. This shit matters to me. This is why I do this work. And you might be looking at the video right now going, holy shit, this guy's intense. You don't have to torture yourself anymore, okay? I'm telling you. We can get you on the right track. We can teach you to eat more and exercise less and get the results that you want so you're no longer damaging your body. So in these custom plans that I've made for over 200 people, I have never once asked anybody to count calories. Go on the Clovis Academy right now and ask people, do we talk about calories? Yes. Do I say you need to track your caloric intake, you need to eat less, you need to track all your calories of all your meals? No, I'm never going to make you count calories ever. Never, because the mainstream's been telling you to do that for 40 years and we have an obesity epidemic. So we're not going to do that. I repeat, you do not need to count calories or starve yourself to lose weight. And just so you don't think that this is lost on me, or when you write me an email, you're saying, let me email that guy with abs and tell him my story. It's not like that. All right? I know where you're at. I know where I'm at now. I know how I got here. I know how you're feeling in this very moment. Why is Clovis here? I'll take you back. So I'm 11 years old. I'm 11-year-old Justin. Didn't look anything like I look right now. This was not always a thing. So I was 11, and I remember this memory distinctly. I don't remember what was on the TV. I don't remember what day of the week it was. None of that, but I remember how I felt. So I'm alone, like we talked about, alone. And I'm in front of the TV as an 11-year-old kid. I'm a little kid. I'm a little boy. Sitting in front of the TV, not paying attention because I didn't care about what was on the screen. I cared about this. This is what I cared about. Why was I home from school on a school day? Because I lied to my mom, told her I was too sick to go to school. Probably put up a hell of a fight and convinced her to let me stay home. So now I'm home by myself. 11. Again, remember, 11. But what was really happening was a field trip. A field trip that my entire class was on to a summer camp. Now I knew that summer camp was going to include lunch and snacks and games and archery and tree climbing, blah, 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 and swimming. There it is. So I lie to my mom, break her trust, so I can stay home, alone, watching TV, because that's a better option than me taking off my shirt in front of my classmates. Why? Because I was a fat kid. Fat kid, right? Some of you probably have kids who are fat kids, who are dealing with what I dealt with. Some of you probably were fat kids, right? You're probably sitting in your living room nodding right now, going, I know exactly what Justin's talking about. That was me at 11. So what do I feel after lying to my mom and sitting home alone by myself? Shame, guilt, fear. Shame, guilt, fear. Shame, guilt, fear. Over and over in my head. At 11! How am I 11 years old and I'm that fucked up? How? Because a few years before, when I was a real carefree little boy, walking home from school, I started running. I'm running down the street, right? I'll never forget this. This is one of the most devastating things that ever happened to me in my life. I'm running down the street like a normal kid should, without a care in the world, big smile on my face. This is awesome. Running down the street. What happens? A car pulls up. I'm going to walk you through this because I will never forget this. Car pulls up, slows down. Windows roll down, I can hear the music playing. 2 full-grown men. They point at me and they say, run, fat boy, run. That's it. Your whole life is different now. Your whole life has changed. You end up an 11-year-old kid who stays home from school on field trip day because he doesn't want to have his shirt off in front of his friends. Because if he has his shirt off in front of his friends and he's the fat kid, he's going to get made fun of, he's going to be alone. He's going to feel real lonely. Getting made fun of feels real lonely. I'll show you little baby Justin. So there's little baby Justin with his lovely hair. Look at that. That's a dope haircut, let's be honest. But yeah, so that's what I dealt with as a kid. And what that does is it affects your psyche. You never forget how you feel. You never forget how people make you feel, right? You'll forget where you were, what you were doing, but you'll never forget how people make you feel. And you carry this in your psyche for the rest of your life. So 11-year-old Justin basically sculpted, built the foundation of what became Justin you see now. 31-year-old Justin with the Clovis Academy and the Clovis Company, and he invented a line of paleo protein products because he has a lifelong obsession with health and fitness. Fast forward to today. What if I told you that out of those 200 people who I helped transform their lives, that for 90+% of them, I made them eat more. I made them eat more than they were previously eating as obese people. I made them eat more. For some of them, what if I told you that I doubled their calories and they lost 10, 11, 15 pounds in 7 days as a result? Going against everything the mainstream ever told you. What if I told you that? Does that sound good? You get to eat more, you get to be a normal person, not be hungry. Get to let your body flourish on the things that it needs, give it the nutrients that it needs for once in your life. Please, please, please. You don't have to count calories, you don't have to starve yourself anymore, okay? I will teach you to eat more and lose weight. So another thing we talked about was Micah and Crystal. So I'm gonna bring a couple of these up for you just to give you a really, really good idea of what happens in the Clovis Academy and what happens with Clovis with these transformations, okay? So first, we're gonna show you Micah. Now, I remember Micah and Crystal because they're husband and wife. So Micah, we increased his caloric intake significantly. And what happened? He lost 52 pounds in 8 weeks by eating a full caloric load and never depriving himself. That's 6.5 pounds per week. How many mainstream fitness nutrition experts have told you that losing more than 1 to 2 pounds a week is unsafe or unhealthy? They're all completely wrong. So Micah loses 52 pounds in 8 weeks. And his wife, Crystal, same thing. We significantly increased her caloric intake, and she lost 22 pounds in 8 weeks by eating more than she was used to. All I had to do was increase her calories, and she lost weight. Look at that. She wore those shorts in December. Those used to be her favorite shorts. You're looking at a whole new human being. She literally lost a human being in 8 weeks. It's insane. Think about it. So stop with the bullshit. This counting calories, it's got to stop. I'm so tired of people starving themselves. I can't even handle this anymore. That's why we're doing this video.